Everybody, welcome back to Brit and Jake Go to the Movies. I'm Britton.
And I'm Jacob.
And today, we're going to be talking about a very good movie.
Yes, sir.
That's called Honey Boy.
Yeah.
From Shia Lebeouf. LeBeouf? Don't know. But we're going to be talking about that today. I really enjoyed this movie. How about you, Jacob? What do you think?
Oh, very good movie. This movie feels very raw. LeBeouf's performance in this film is very unfiltered throughout this movie. You can tell that he's working through things as he writes the movie, because this movie is loosely based on LeBeouf when he was on that show. I can't remember the name of it. But it's sometimes painful to watch, but it's also a moving depiction of a man's struggle to understand and perhaps forgive. So overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's I get what you mean. It's a film that's very personal, and it feels like it comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry.
I don't think it. I don't feel. This movie to me doesn't feel pretentious whatsoever, because movies like this, where you're kind of like writing, especially since LeBeouf was the writer of the movie, writing a movie about yourself essentially, could come off as like, I'm making a movie about myself, so feel sorry for me. I didn't feel that in that movie. He was just like, this is a movie about me. I'm just showing you what it was like.
Yeah, and I know that Shia LaBeouf has just... That man has been lost for a long time. I'll just put it that way. And this movie really explains a lot. He plays... Shia LaBeouf himself is in this movie, and he is fantastic in it. Indeed.
And even Shia LaBeouf, like, he had to, since him and his father were very estranged in real life. So he actually had to get permission from him to play his father. His father actually thought somebody else was going to play him, but LaBeouf ended up playing his own father.
Indeed, and he is fantastic in this movie, I thought.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
2019 was a great year to be Shia LaBeouf. I say great in relative terms, but you know he was pretty good. He had a pretty good run in 2019. He did Peanut Butter Falcon, which is a fantastic movie, and also we got Honey Boy, which we're talking about today. I really enjoy this movie. Films like this don't tend to get made as much anymore. It's more of a character drama than it's about great acting, and Noah Jupe's in it, and he's great as well. We also have Lucas Hedges, who looks nothing like Shia LaBeouf, is also in this film.
Nothing like him whatsoever.
He looks nothing like him. Yeah, I know. It's just like he has like red hair, and he looks like he's about to shoot up a school. Like, I don't know. Shia LaBeouf is...
LaBeouf was okay with it, though.
Yeah, I guess LaBeouf was fine with it. He doesn't even look like Noah Jupe at all. He doesn't even look like Noah Jupe.
Not at all whatsoever.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very sad film, but it's also very bittersweet. It's about coming to terms with past trauma and trying to heal from it.
Indeed.
There's not a lot of Hollywood bullshit in this movie. I think that's what I like the most about it. There's not a lot of Hollywood shit in it. It's just a guy trying to deal with his shit, and he doesn't come to a conclusion by the end of the movie, but he does at least try to but at least he finds some inner peace with himself. Indeed. Jacob, what do you think about the performances in this? Like, what are your blurb thoughts on this movie?
Noah Jupe from Quiet Place fame, phenomenal in this film.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Shia LaBeouf, as I said, I thought he was phenomenal. When it comes to Shia LaBeouf, I've discovered the first films I discovered of him were shocker, the Transformer movies, and and then he came back and he was known for the "Just Do It" meme. But I will say he has made a comeback because he has proven himself to be a really damn good actor, like films like Honey Boy, Peanut Butter Falcon, or this Netflix film called Pieces of a Woman. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not. I've heard it's very good. I've heard like the first half is great, and then it just kind of peters out over by the end of it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that movie overall, but the opening scene is easily one of the best monologues ever in film.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf is kind of weird. He's had an odd career. Like, he was in Even Stevens for a while. I remember watching that a little bit when I was a kid. I wasn't really a big fan of it. Then I saw the Transformer movies. I actually kind of like that first one. I know I'm probably going to get made fun of for it. And it's not a great film. But I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of a guilty pleasure movie for me.
Yeah, the first one is a guilty pleasure, but the rest of them suck.
It's
and also, other than Transformers movies, I did discover him in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, I remember him in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which, yeah, we don't talk about that here. We ask it politely but firmly to leave. I'll just put it that way.
Indeed. Oh, I also saw him in this A24 film, American Honey. Great movie, by the way.
Oh, he was in that. I heard that movie's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I also saw him in Surf's Up, an animated film that I liked when I was little.
I remember that movie. I thought that movie was kind of dumb. I'm like, really? Penguins surfing? Come on. Oh, yeah, he was in Holes. I love that movie.
Oh, I totally forgot about it.
That's a great book, too. Great book, too.
Totally forgot he was in it.
Yeah. Yeah, then he was in Nymphomaniac, which that was weird. He did a really bizarre English accent. Then he was in Fury, which is a pretty good movie, though I think it is a bit extreme at times.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I think that's the best way to describe it. Thank you, Jacob.
No problem.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf's a weird guy. He's had a lot of controversies over the years for his bizarre antics, and I don't know what to make of him. But I will say, if I hope he'll be remembered for anything, I hope he's remembered for this movie, because I think this is Shia LaBeouf at his most honest, but I also think it's him at his most I don't want to say vulnerable. I don't know if that's the right word, though. I do think there is vulnerability in this movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I still think this is his best performance, other than Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, yeah. Peanut Butter Falcon's fantastic. Very wholesome movie.
Indeed.
This movie is not wholesome, but it does make you feel things.
As I said, it's a very raw movie.
Yeah, no, it's not a fun movie to get through.
Not at all.
I remember I was on a movie watching Kick, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch Honey Boy on my Amazon Prime. So that's what I did, and I enjoyed myself. I thought it was a very good film.
I saw when Chris Stuckman talked about it. I haven't heard about it. I haven't heard about this film before, but Chris Stuckman talked about it. It's like, oh, interesting. Shia LaBeouf. Oh, Noah Jupe. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, Noah Jupe is fantastic. I think him and Shia LaBeouf are the best parts in this movie.
Oh, for sure.
It's just, fantastic. But really, my blurb thoughts are, this is a very well done, well acted, well written story. I enjoyed myself. It's kind of like Good Will Hunting for New Age, except it's not as great as Good Will. I don't know. I maybe it's a bad idea to compare it to Good Will Hunting, but it deals with a lot of raw emotions like that movie. So there you go.
Indeed.
But yeah, this is definitely a 4 out of 5 star movie for me. It's a really good movie. Even though Shia Lebeouf plays a guy who's a clown, I don't really like clowns. But aside from that, it's a really good movie.
Indeed, Honey Boy's a really good movie.
Oh yes. So, let's get into this movie then. Let's cut into this steak. We begin in 2005. We meet Otis Lort, which, odd name, but alright, we'll go with it. This is Shia LaBeouf we're talking about, so I guess it shouldn't be too surprising. So Otis is a guy who starred in a lot of movies, and this is older Otis, so he's played by Lucas Hedges, who looks like he's about to shoot up a grocery store. And looks nothing like Shia LaBeouf or Noah Jupe at all. So there you go.
Not even in the slightest.
Not even in the slightest. I am not letting that go.
Nothing like that whatsoever.
They don't look anything alike. Like Noah Jupe has Noah Jupe. You could at least say he kind of looks like Shia LaBeouf. This Lucas Hedges man, looks nothing like Shia LaBeouf or even Noah Jupe at all, and it's really weird. Kind of discombobulates you. But aside from that, it's a fun movie. He's good in this.
Oh yeah, he's good in the movie, but yeah, you don't look like Shia LaBeouf or Noah Jupe.
Excuse me. So, this is a guy who suffers from alcoholism and drug abuse and whatnot. He gets into the wacky antics that Hollywood stars tend to get into, and drunk drives, and crashes his car. And then the cops show up, and then he starts fighting. And then he starts yelling and acting like a maniac. So I'm like, oh, I wonder what this makes me think of.
Like, this is really on the nose.
I know. So, Otis ends up going to rehab, and he ends up having a counselor by the name of Dr. Marino, who tells him that if he leaves the facility before they say he's ready, the court is going to send him to prison for his violent antics. She also diagnoses him with PTSD, which Otis does not take well, and he doesn't think he has it. But she ends up encouraging him to look into his past through exposure therapy. So, what do you think of this intro to the movie?
What a way to open the movie, where he's acting like a maniac that he's put into help. I would say it's a great way to start the movie, get you hooked on what the movie's going to be about, and how Shia LaBeouf's life, the way it has started, in a way.
Indeed. So, we end up going back to a decade earlier, in 1995, where Otis remembers that he worked as a child actor. And he was often accompanied on set by his dad, James. Played by Shia LaBeouf, who plays this just manic... I think he's well-intentioned, but he's also very manic and aggressive, and I wouldn't call him a very responsible parental figure.
Not at all, no. Not at all.
I do think he cares for Otis. It's just he doesn't really know what he's doing.
No, he just doesn't really know how to be a father.
Like, what do you think?
I think he's well-intentioned, but he just doesn't really know how to be a father. If you know what I mean. Doesn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, he's not always sensitive to his son's antics.
No.
So the two are living in this just like really shitty motel place, and this young lady who's literally just called Shy Girl, played by FKA Twigs. Yay. She lives, well, that's like her rap name. Her real name's Talila Barnett. So there you go.
Oh.
She's from England, so there you go. Yeah. Otis is in like a Big Brother he's in like a program where like just some random guy shows up and like plays ball with him and just like spends time with him. This might just be me being ignorant, but I've always thought that concept is really weird.
That is pretty weird.
It's like you have this I get it. It's well intentioned, but it's like just grown ass man coming to see this kid, and they're like just doing stuff.
Yeah,
oh, okay. It's like, come on, like learn how to be parents to your children.
Exactly.
But James doesn't like this. He's just like, fuck this. I don't like that guy. This guy, he's called Tommy. Otis's big brother. He's called Tom. And Otis wants to go to a baseball game with Tom. But James is unsure, but he agrees if Tom comes over for a barbecue. If I remember correctly, that barbecue goes disastrously.
Yeah, it goes horrendously.
Yeah, he starts going all like, oh yeah, think you're gonna take my fucking son away from me? That kind of shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. Does not go well at all.
Yeah, we're kind of speeding through the movie, but I really like Shia LaBeouf's performance in this movie. You feel bad for him, even though you know he's not like a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like Robert Pattinson in Good Time or Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. Kind of.
You mentioning that? We talked about Good Time last week.
Yeah, I had to. So it's funny you picked Honey Boy for this episode.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of like, ooh, that's a good movie. I remember really enjoying that one.
Hey, it worked out, so I get to mention Good Time again. Because Shia LaBeouf's character in this film, kind of that way. You feel bad for him, but he's not a very good person, as you said.
Indeed. Holy shit. Noah Jupe's British? I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, shit. Great American accent, kid.
Honestly.
But yeah, so James ends up, I think he like pushes him into a pool, if I remember correctly. Like it's like a really shitty pool, and he like pushes the guy into the pool, or something like that.
Yeah, he pushed him in a pool.
Yeah, and Otis is just like, Dad, no. Yeah, no. So we end up going back to 2005, and Otis is shown communicating with his friend. I guess he lives with a roommate. He's called Percy, and he continues therapy, but he is not proving to be a very willing participant into it. But he's trying.
At least he's trying.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
So, yeah, Otis ends up... I kind of got ahead of myself. Otis remembers Tom coming over for the barbecue, and then James throwing him into the pool and then violently threatening him.
Yeah, cool.
Intense. Yeah, I know. It's super, like it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, this movie feels very real in that way, like so unfiltered.
So Otis gets a part that will be shot in Canada. So Otis calls his mom about it, because I don't know what it is with his mom. For one, I don't know why she left him with this crazy manic man.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
It doesn't. It does not make any sense at all. But
It's like, oh, all
why
right.
did you leave? If I were Otis, I'd be like, why did you leave me with this crazy man?
It's called tough love, my love.
They don't even really get along because he calls his mom, and then James gets all pissed off and starts like shouting at the phone.
Yeah.
And Otis ends up being forced to relay both of his parents arguing back to each other, which is obviously a very so I mean, you feel really bad for Noah Jupe in this movie, or well, his character anyway.
You do.
And so back in the present, Otis continues to resist therapy, and Otis's other counselor, Alec, says you should go in the woods and just scream as loud as you can, and then see how that goes. So guess what? That's exactly what he does.
Hey, that helps out.
What's that? You went, Oh, you were clearing your throat?
Just clearing my throat.
Oh, you're... What was that?
But no, hey, going out in the middle of nowhere and screaming at the top of your lungs actually helps. Getting out of your system, you know.
Yeah. So then we go back to a flashback where James ends up going to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And this scene is probably one of the saddest of the movie, aside from Otis having to relay his parents' arguments, and a scene later on in the movie. He ends up talking about his stepmom who used to hit him, and she was very abusive towards him, and he ended up getting into substance abuse, and then he ended up blacking out while attempting to, well, I won't say that word here, but he attempted to R-word a lady. He attempted to assault a woman, and that got him registered as a sex offender. Good job, bro. Jeez.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, Otis ends up going across the street and ends up meeting with that shy lady I was talking about, who's literally just called Shy Girl. And the two kind of just hang out, and basically that's basically Otis's only real connection to somebody who's not like super dysfunctional like his dad is. And he even gives her money to help her out, because I don't remember exactly what was up, but she was like struggling with something.
Yeah. Can't remember what, but she definitely was struggling with something.
Then I think this is it. I don't know if we're here, but one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when James is basically trying to work with Otis in his rehearsal of scenes, and he's telling him that he's talking about how his mom bitched it. It's a scene where he's being both demeaning and encouraging at the same time. I think I'm in the right place.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's, to me, I think it's James's way of trying to, be invested in his son's life and trying to help him. But it just comes off as really bad. It just comes off as him being an insensitive asshole.
Absolutely, yeah. You can tell he's not trying to be an asshole, but he's trying. He thinks this is his way of like trying to like be there for his son, like be a father.
Yeah, he's all like, your mom left you, and he's just like, she doesn't care about you, but I do. I'm your cheerleader, bro. It's like, I'm your cheerleader, honey boy. Gotta name drop that movie in there someplace.
Yep, honey boy, wink, wink.
And then he starts getting pissed off at the neighbors for being too loud. I'll get. This is a very dark movie, but it's funny at times. It's very funny.
It is. Has some funny
moments. Especially with some of his antics, like when he's trying to get the neighbors to stop yelling. Like it's kind of sad, but it's also like really funny because he's just like you can tell he's just really trying to. He's really trying to help his son. And is he doing it is he doing it in a good way? Probably not, but like he's trying, I guess. So there you go.
At least he's trying. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Otis ends up not liking the fact that he's yelling, and Otis doesn't seem to like it, and he asks him to stop, and ends up telling him that no one else would hire him because of the fact that he's a sex offender.
Yes.
That's nice. Not.
Yes, it didn't work out for you, did it?
No, it did not. Otis explains that actually he's in charge since James is making money off of him, which is just a really sad thing. Oh God. This is really sad because it's just like, oh, that's like, geez, So we go back to the present. Otis, the red-haired guy who is apparently Otis, thanks Alec for the advice, and decides to continue working with Dr. Marino on controlling his anger.
Yes.
Then, we go back to 1995, which is probably the saddest part of this film, where Otis is finally done with his dad's bullshit and tells him that he needs to start being a better father. Well, James doesn't take that very well, so he ends up hitting him. And then, they wrestle. It's really uncomfortable scene.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And then he leaves on his motorcycle to go to a strip club and get some drugs.
My God.
Then Otis ends up spending time with Shy Girl, and they end up getting caught the next morning by James, who is like, what is going on here? Well, he starts like getting angry at Shy Girl, and Shy Girl doesn't like that at all, so she hits James and leaves. And in my opinion, probably the saddest part of this film is when James ends up asking Otis how it thinks it feels to be criticized by his own son, and even having to resort to accepting payment from him. And Otis ends up telling him that if he didn't receive money, he doesn't even think that James would be there. Which, that's already pretty horrible. So, there you go.
Oh, yeah. God.
That's probably the saddest scene of the movie for me. I don't know about you, Jacob.
I would say so, yeah.
We finally see them kind of starting to clash, and it's not looking very good for everybody.
Not at all, yeah.
And, it's really sad. It's just really sad. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention all of the Even Stevens references, like
Oh God, yeah.
did you watch Even Stevens growing up? I saw a little bit of it. I was more of like a Sweet Life kid.
Yeah, me too. I never watched Even Stevens that much.
Yeah, I think I was a little too young for that one. Not that like it's inappropriate or anything, but I don't think I was old. I don't think I was. I don't think I was around. I don't think I was alive for that long when it was out.
No, I watched a few episodes, but I was more of like Corey in the House or Zack and Cody type of kid.
Yeah, that's so great. I even watched Hannah Montana, even though I don't like that show nowadays. But yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that show much anymore. I mean, I don't want to rant too much. I don't want to rant about Scooby. I don't want to rant about that. Okay.
I was like, oh, Shia LaBeouf's in it, and then when I saw a Transformers movie, it's like, oh, it's the Even Steven kid.
Wasn't he in Lizzie McGuire?
I don't remember.
Hell, I don't remember either. I'm sorry. I'm really distracted by I'm really distracted by the Even Stevens now. He gets a pie thrown in his face at one point, which is like one of the like dynamic shots in the movie.
Oh yeah, see even the poster.
There's even a scene where Lucas Hodges Otis. I'm not even gonna just call him Otis. He's Lucas Hodges Otis, or Lucas Hedges. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Lucas Hedges, if you ever watch this video. He gets like blown up and he like gets thrown with. He has like stuff on him though, so no worries. He doesn't get hurt. But it's like an explosion. He gets like thrown back. I wonder what movie that's referencing. Wink, wink. Or movies that has to do with robot cars. Anyway.
Roll out.
Yeah. So you know, there's a lot of stuff I'm probably missing. What are some other scenes I'm probably missing? What do you think, Jacob? Am I forgetting anything?
No, you're not so far.
Okay, I don't think I was. But back to Even Stevens. That show was weird, man.
Yeah, a few episodes I saw, I'm like, this is an interesting show.
I will say, I do think Shia LaBeouf has some good comedic timing. Because there's some episodes of that show I watched I thought were pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know what's wrong with Shia LaBeouf, but is he a good actor? I don't know. I think he is. I think when he really puts his mind to it, I think he's a good actor. I think I think in this he's really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. When he puts in the effort, hell yes. But we've seen him in Transformers, so.
We've also seen him overcompensate as well, like in stuff like Nymphomaniac or even Fury. I mean, I didn't mind him in Fury, but yeah.
Like, man, dude.
It's like, yeah. Apparently, he wanted like a camera on his dick for one movie. I don't remember what it was, but
yeah,
I remember that. But yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. But you know what? He made a good movie with Honey Boy. It's hard not to talk about Shia LaBeouf's career, and which is just the ironic thing. John Bernthal got some shit the other day because he had Shia LaBeouf on his podcast.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that? It was that happened like that was either like yesterday or 2 days ago. Like he was literally
like 2 days ago.
He was literally on his podcast, just like and they weren't like talking about. He was just talking about his I'll give this. I know that Shia LaBeouf's gotten in some hot water in recent years over some of the bad shit he was doing. But, you know,
Yeah.
in an odd way, I kind of respect that John Bernthal actually took the time to talk with him. Because he usually wouldn't see that from people. And you might call me a salty wiener for saying that, but you know what? I don't care.
Preach.
In all honesty, I'm not. I don't want to say I'm rooting for Shia LaBeouf, but I do hope he finds some inner peace, because that's definitely what this movie's trying to say. It almost feels like a plea for help in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
I don't know what you think, Jacob.
No, I agree.
I snort, but it's just like, you know how long we've had to deal with Shia LaBeouf's weird antics?
Yeah.
Years, my sir. Years. He was the guy who did the "Just Do It" memes, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to that scene. It's really sad, and just great acting from both Shia LaBeouf and Noah Jupe that makes it work. What do you think about the scene? My favorite scene is probably the one where he's saying, "I'm your cheerleader, honey boy."
This scene's definitely a close second for me. The other scene is my favorite as well. It's just really like so raw and just so sad. But this scene is definitely a close second for me. Just like phenomenal performances for both LaBeouf and Jupe.
Oh yeah.
I
I also forgot to mention the music in this movie is fantastic as well.
Oh yes.
Alex Sommers, you should congratulate yourself.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back.
Yes, because this is a great thing.
Indeed.
And it's kind of hard not to feel bad for Shia LaBeouf, despite all the bad and just weird shit he's done in his life. It's just like the dude. I think the guy's just a wreck, and I think he just needs help.
Yeah, that's all.
But yeah. So continuing on with this movie, James, in another example of him just being a very responsible parent, ends up taking Otis to a patch of marijuana plants that he's been growing. Yeah, I forgot to mention this. I love James's just like weird get-rich-quick schemes that he often cooks up. Like he has like a marijuana just off the side of the highway. Just like anybody could see, like, oh yeah, that guy's he's smoking a doobie with his son. Oh good. It's just, or he's like going to like a strip club to like it's just, oh jeez. I mean, I bet someone's probably known somebody like James, but it's just like, oh god, this man is just.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and they end up smoking cannabis together. Father of the Year, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh yes. Give the man his award.
Oh my God, yes. Give it all, baby. So, in the meantime, back in the present, Otis decides, I'm gonna make a movie about my dad. So he ends up revisiting the motel, and he ends up imagining himself seeing his father standing there at their house, at their old room, in his radio clown getup. And I always thought it was funny how he just kind of hobbles out, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up, son?" It's like, what? All right, it's okay. I'm like, all right, I guess this is happening now.
Like, all right then.
So he ends up having a very touching conversation, or what he thinks is a touching conversation. He tells his dad he's planning to make a movie about him. And James, he jokingly says, hope you make me look good. And the two end up riding away on James's motorcycle, which ends up fading into Otis riding away on his own. And that's the end of the movie. We also get a bunch of clips from Shia LaBeouf's own past. So to let you know right now, Shia LaBeouf has had a rough go of it.
He sure has.
And he talks about his dad, who was also a rodeo clown, as if already we didn't know that this movie was about Shia LaBeouf's life. There you go. So, oh man. But yeah, Honey Boy was. Honey Boy, great movie. We didn't talk about it for that long, but you know, Honey Boy is it's a very taut film. It's much like Good Time last week. Very taut, very straight to the point. It's not like one where you have to have too much food for thought, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We just need films that are just straightforward, very taut. Just execute them very well.
It's all about the execution, baby.
Hell yes.
That's our motto here on this show.
Yes, it is. Definitely.
But yes, this film is fantastic though. I kind of wish it came out in theaters because I think it was kind of undersold with it in, or maybe it did come out in theaters. I don't know.
Probably did.
It was at Sundance, so I guess that counts.
Yeah.
But yeah, this film is really good. Very taut, very to the point. There's no fat in there. There's no unnecessary crap. It's just a good movie. Made by people who really like what they do.
Indeed. Shia LaBeouf at his best. Noah Jupe also phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I think Noah Jupe, that's one of those guys, he's like, yeah, that guy's got a future.
Oh, he sure has. He sure does he has a bright future ahead of him.
Indeed, my friend, indeed. It looks like it's going to be a good time, sir.
Oh, yes. I mean, he's already in the Quiet Place movie, so there you go.
It's a well-directed movie, and it's also a very well-acted film as well.
Absolutely.
And it's also really sad. It's a really sad movie. It's also a very bittersweet movie at the same time.
It is. As I said, emotionally raw.
As Shia LaBeouf said when he was asked about making the movie, he said, "It is strange to fetishize your pain and make a product out of it and feel guilty about that. Felt very selfish. This whole thing felt very selfish. I never went into this thinking, oh, I'm going to fucking help people. That wasn't my goal. I was falling apart." So.
Sounds like Shia, all right.
Yeah. If I remember, he talked about when he was like a Christian or something. He's like, I didn't find God in a bullshit way. I found him in a real way. And I'm like, it's what he said. I remember reading about it. I'm like, I don't want to make fun of him. I'm glad that happened for you, but it's a weird way to describe it, dude.
That's the best way to describe it ever.
It's like, hold on. Let me. It's just. Oh God! I don't know what it is with Shia LaBeouf. That man just. Oh yes, there was also they should just make like a top 10 weirdest shit that Shia LaBeouf's ever done.
I'm surprised Watch Mojo hasn't done it.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I'm like, I remember him talking about when he found like God or something, and he was all like, and he's like, I became a Christian man and I found God, but not in a fucking bullshit way.
It's like, all right.
I mean, okay, I don't want to sound like I'm making fun of, again, I don't want to sound like I'm making fun of him for, like, finding God or anything like that. It's just the way he described it is just really weird.
Hey, it's unfiltered, though, I'll give him that.
Yeah, I guess so. He's just, It's just, oh God. Speaking of other Shia LaBeouf news, apparently he was going to be in "Don't Worry, Darling" that Harry Styles is in with Florence Pugh, who is my cinematic crush lady. Anyway, apparently Olivia Wilde wanted him to be on, but apparently he had to depart due to scheduling conflicts, and by scheduling conflicts, that meant apparently he was actually fired due to inappropriate and erratic behavior. Which, I'm so surprised. Which, yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know what to. Shia
I don't know what to
LaBeouf's.
think about it.
What?
I don't know what to think about it.
I don't know what to think about it either, man. It's a weird. He's just a weird dude. He's just an odd man.
He's very peculiar.
And and I don't say that in a good way either. He seems like he's been in a. That's the thing. It's ironic I decided to use this because he's gotten back into the spotlight recently.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I guess he's a Catholic now. That's
really.
I guess so.
Well then.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Wow.
I mean, good for you, man, but I really. Oh God, I don't know what to say about this.
Me either. I have nothing to say.
Just, you know what I do know? Honey Boy is actually a good movie, even if Shia LaBeouf is an impenetrable, troubled man.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of thrown off right now because
I'm so thrown off. I'm just thinking about the "Don't Worry, Darling" thing.
oh my God, you're. And John Bernthal had him on his podcast, and everyone got mad at him about that for some reason. I'm like, guys, come on.
Like, come on, guys.
Oh, jeez. It's so weird. I bet you're wondering, why are we laughing like we're high? It's because Shia LaBeouf is literally that strange.
Yeah, he's so peculiar.
Oh,
he's a very
jeez.
interesting individual.
He also got into some trouble for plagiarism accusations, which, Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
Yeah, he sure is back in the spotlight.
Well, this was a bunch of years ago. But he is back in the spotlight because of "Don't Worry, Darling," and the fact that he's like not the fact that because of his habit of clashing with actors.
Well, yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised, but jeez, it's like I laugh, but this is awful. But it's just like, oh, jeez.
No, he's just very strange. That's why we're just laughing. Just all the things he has done. Like, first, like, you become a meme sensation with the "Just Do It" thing, and now you've done a bunch of all this other crap.
Oh yeah, don't
John
forget Shia LaBeouf is a cannibal, where he parodies Citizen Kane and just starts clapping. Have you ever seen that one?
I have not, actually.
Another just top weird thing he's done. He played, Shia ended up getting literal body full of tattoos, like real tattoos for a role.
Like legit tattoos?
Yeah, legit tattoos.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, you think that Daniel Day-Lewis takes it to another level? He is child's play in comparison to Shia LaBeouf. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll ink myself for a role. I sure will.
Oh man. Oh yeah, he was in Disturbia. That was a good movie.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's oh my god. I don't know what to tell you about
Oh, he was in Lawless too. I forgot about that.
oh yeah, the one about oh yeah, apparently he clashed with Tom Tom Hardy in that movie. Like, wow, very surprising.
Yeah.
Not. But yeah, that was Honey Boy. with a side dish of exploring the weird and turbulent life of Shia LaBeouf.
And turbulent indeed.
Indeed. So what do you think about Honey Boy? You think it's a great movie? I think it's a very good movie.
Oh yeah. Outside of Shia LaBeouf's weirdness, Honey Boy is a great movie with Shia LaBeouf at his best, and Noah Jupe also phenomenal here. I'm telling you, the kid's got a bright future ahead of him. And
Indeed.
It was a great depiction on Shia LaBeouf's life, around Shia LaBeouf's life, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think with Shia LaBeouf, it's either he doesn't care or he'll really put his effort into it. And there's like not really an in-between. But I find when he puts his effort into it and he manages to balance himself, he can be a really good actor.
Oh yeah,
and
like Honey Boy.
I think he did it very. I think he did it very well in Honey Boy.
Yeah. Oh yes. When he really puts his all into it, I think he's a really good actor. Like Honey Boy, Peanut Butter Falcon, American Honey. But he'll just like go off the rails like Transformers or even Fury.
Or Nymphomaniac.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen this actually.
You haven't seen Nymphomaniac? I'm not a big Lars von Trier fan, so sorry, Chris, if you ever watch this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
I'm sure Carlton will love him though.
Oh, Nymphomaniac? Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. But yeah, he apparently he's also in Pieces of a Woman, which I haven't seen, but I've heard it's like all right.
The opening, phenomenal, one of the best openings, but it burns out after that.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oh, he played Spicoli in the table read. That's good. That's good. Anyway, that was Honey Boy. I think this is a really good movie. I kind of went over it. I'll admit again, I kind of forgot to look over it. I kind of forgot to watch it again, but I enjoyed this film. I thought it was a lot of. I wouldn't actually not a lot of fun, but it is very good, and I think it is. I think it's Shia LaBeouf at his most honest.
Indeed, for sure.
And it's like this and Peanut Butter Falcon. Like, he was on a roll in 2019, and in 2020, he's just... In 2020, he just goes full Shia LaBeouf again. That's all I can really say.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Here's what... in another case of Shia LaBeouf being weird, here's what he had to say about Jeremy Corbyn's campaign in England of the Labour Party leadership election. He told the Evening Standard, "I like Jeremy Corbyn. I like him in every way. British politics just got very exciting."
Well then.
It's why? It's like what? He really is. This dude's like a literal real life Dale Gribble from King of the Hill.
He really is.
Oh jeez. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop just hurting my mind with all the weird Shia LaBeoufness. But you know, since we have some time, Jacob, have you seen any new things recently?
I have not actually. I've mostly just been rewatching stuff. I rewatched Catch Me If You Can to see the Spielberg film. I haven't seen that film forever.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love it. It's a great movie.
Underrated movie.
Indeed. Extremely underrated. And you know what I'm excited for? Next month, Jaws is going to be released in theaters.
Oh, so re-released? Oh, sweet. Yes. I have to check that out.
I'm definitely going to be seeing that in theaters. As well as No Way Home, the more fun stuff version.
Ooh, yes. Can I just mention again that No Way Home is just great? Can I just say that again?
Hell yes. Say it a billion more times.
Oh my god, great movie. Actually, one of my favorite episodes was our Spider-Man No Way Home movie.
Oh, by far.
Maybe one of the best episodes of our career.
Oh yes, definitely one of my favorites for sure. Just two fanboys fanboying it out.
Oh yeah, it was just a beautiful thing. I guess I don't know what to tell you, but
fan service at its finest.
Oh yeah, I literally answered the question, what's the best example of fan service? I literally just responded, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
But yeah, am I gonna check out the extra fun stuff? Maybe. I'm just hoping that they have more of the three Peters hanging out and doing stuff, because we all need more of that in our lives.
We do. That's why I question like people who don't like No Way Home, like 3 the Spider-Man the movie. How can you not like that?
I know. I was very satisfied with it though.
Oh, I was too. I'm hoping in the more fun stuff version, we'll get to see extended versions of certain scenes that were apparently deleted. So I hope that's the case. But I want to see more 3 Spider-Man hanging out for sure. And plus, No Way Home was just a fantastic movie overall. It was my favorite film in 2021, as Brit knows. So I'm definitely gonna be seeing it again in theaters for the 4th time.
Yeah. My favorite film of 2021 is still Green Knight.
Yes, our first episode.
I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't know. I think it just affected me on a it's really hard. It was really hard because I really loved both of those movies.
Yeah. Green Knight was still my second favorite film.
I will say I did recently see the new Sandman show based on the Neil Gaiman comic book of the same name. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, great. Might be one of the best comic book adaptations I've ever seen. Like, I'm not kidding. I was kind of like, and I'm like, I this might be a bit of a bold statement. I'm just saying, but I think it might be one of the best comic adaptations I've seen.
I'm glad to hear because I was a bit hesitant because you better do this justice because the comic is great. So.
Yeah, no, Tig's like, yo, I saw it. It was pretty dope, dude. And then even Carlton was like harassing me to go see it, and I'm like, because he knows I really enjoy the comic. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a look, okay? Just call me Teddy's. And I watched it, and I texted Carlton. I'm like, I love this. He's like, I told you. So yeah. No Shia Lebeouf wacky antics in that one. So that's good. But I loved it. I really, really, really enjoyed myself watching it. And I just actually watched the new episode they dropped yesterday, and I really enjoyed that as well. It's fantastic stuff. Great acting. David Thewlis. Oh my god. Fantastic. We also get to see Boyd Holbrook from Logan. He's in it. Oh, great. I love it.
I definitely got to check it out then.
He plays the Corinthian, and he is amazing. But yes, I love it. I think it might be one of the best comic book adaptations I've ever seen. Like,
oh wow,
it's like Raimi's Spider-Man tier.
Oh wow, that's some high praise right there.
It's like some Lord of the Rings tier. Like,
wow,
it's like Fellowship of the Ring tier.
Wow, That's some high praising there.
I'm not kidding. It's great. Like, I thought it was great. There were some people who didn't like it, and all I'll say is that they are wrong. This might be a weird question. You know, if Shia Lebeouf were ever in a comic book movie, who do you think Shia Lebeouf would play?
You know, I had a strong feeling that you would ask that question, just for a weird reason.
Yeah, strong feeling.
Yeah. You know, knowing Shia, I think the character he could probably want to play is probably Lobo, for whatever reason.
Yeah, that could, you know what the sad part is? I think I can definitely see that happening. I can kind of see that happening, and everyone would just be shocked. Like, really? That's who you get to play Lobo? Shia LaBeouf?
Out of all of the other people, Shia LaBeouf. But hey, I could see Shia LaBeouf playing Lobo. For a weird reason, I could.
I would have probably gotten like Jason Momoa if he wasn't already playing Aquaman.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah, so
he fits the bill.
Oh yeah, so since we got some time, some more news of me just shaking my head at the DCEU and what an utter shit show it is.
Oh boy.
So Walter Hamada just got fired. And I'm not going to pretend that I am sad that he's gone, because that man was a fucking idiot. And
he really was.
He's a fucking moron. So, Carlton, if you watch this and you start losing your titties that I'm criticizing the DCEU, I should preface this by saying I have no love for Walter Hamada. But my point is, I don't think it's all of his, but my problem is that I don't think it's all his fault. Here, he's just a symptom of the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
He is not just. It's like Joss Whedon. Everyone was jumping on him and acting like after he left that the DCEU was just gonna go to greatness. It's like, nah, he was just a symptom of the problem. Okay.
Exactly.
And I'll say it is hilarious when I see people on Twitter saying that Joss Whedon doesn't know how to make superhero movies.
Dude.
I mean,
the first Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend that I love Joss Whedon. I mean, he's definitely very talented. He is a talented man. I know that's kind of blasphemy to say nowadays, but sorry, the truth. I guess the truth hurts, but he is a talented dude. That being said, I'm not defending Joss Whedon either. What he did was shitty, but all I'm saying is I don't think anything's gonna change from this whole thing. And there's even people saying that Ezra Miller is innocent. And it's just like, oh my god.
I don't even want to get into that.
I don't want to get into that either. So I'll stay away from Ezra Miller. He's kind of a wild card at the moment. But Walter Hamada left, and I just was on Twitter, and I was really mad when I saw everyone acting like everything was just gonna be great. And I'm like, bruh, I've said this dozens of times. It is not going to change anytime soon, as long as the shit that's going on at DC still is going on.
Mm-hmm.
These people, I'll admit, Jacob, I underestimated the Snyder Bros. All right, I'll put my hand to Jesus, my hand to heart, up to Jesus or Buddha or whatever God you choose to follow. Anyone who watches this. But I thought it was just regular old Phantom Menacing at first. I thought, oh man, I bet they're just in denial that the movie is bad. And I bet eventually they'll come around to the fact that these movies are utterly bad. Now, again, not all of them, but just this. I thought it was just Phantom Menacing at first. But then the Snyder Cut came out. And I'm like, no way they're actually going to get this out. And I'm not going to pretend that the Snyder Cut was a complete atrocity, but all I'll say is, I think Roger Deakins filming a turd would have been better than the Whedon cut. That's all I'm saying.
Oh god, yeah, for sure. Ugh.
So saying it's way better than the Whedon cut is not gonna cut it for me. I'm sorry. I know we did 2 whole episodes talking about the Snyder cut. What I did mention I did mention it, but I didn't really talk about it as much. Jacob can attest to this. I called him on the phone, and I was ranting for the first half hour, first 2 hours of the movie, because it had all the Snyder cliches and isms in the movie, and it just drove me up the wall.
Oh yeah, because I know Britton has a thing for Snyder, so I definitely knew you would be ranting about the Snyder.
It's kind of like it's kind of like how you think of Ron Howard. Like, he doesn't not all of his movies are bad. Like, I can acknowledge objectively that not all of his films are bad, but I just don't like a lot of his. I just don't like his movies. I don't really like his style. So, yeah, again, Carlton, if you see this, sorry. I just don't like his style. I just don't like his style. That's all I'll say. And even worse is how he's raw-dogged the DC universe. No lube, just puts it straight in there and just fucking goes to town. That's just really... Dry. Yep, just dry it up and just leaves DC crying like a bitch in the corner. And it's just and then people praise him for it. It's like, what is this? Like, what does this guy got to do to get fired around here? Like, it's just like, I don't know.
It's a weird thing with Snyder for me.
Jacob, you wanna try and counterbalance me here? Like, what do you think about this? Hamada got fired, and everyone thinks it's going to be a whole. Everyone thinks it's going to be the second coming of Jesus or some shit.
Look, guys, it's not changing anytime soon. Just because he got fired, alright?
If you really want to change it, here's all I'm saying. Scrap the DCEU, go back to the drawing board, and come up with a more compelling idea on how to make a cinematic universe. And
start fresh.
And I know people are not going to like when I say this, but you might want to notice what the MCU's doing and maybe take some notes. Because despite the fact that they might not always strike gold, they have a formula that works.
Exactly. And the big thing, they had a plan.
Exactly. But no, it's fine. We can just throw all the characters out there and these Snyder Bros will just lap it up for whatever reason. Again, I underestimated the Snyder Bros. They take Phantom Menacing, Jacob, to colossal levels that I have never seen before.
And just baffling levels. I just can't even.
If Snyder nuked their hometown, they probably would still want to go see the new movies. And people are acting like the Snyderverse is going to come back. And I'm just like, please, God, please, no. Do not bring the Snyderverse back. Because we've already seen enough of that. And we already got a 4-hour movie that, by the way, didn't need to be 4 hours, I should note. It's just... It's driven me insane, Jacob. I'm angry. And I think everyone else should be angry, too.
They should be, honestly.
Because, I've been a DC fan for a very long time. And,
oh, yeah.
And, Jacob knows, I'm a big DC fan. I've been a big DC fan for a long time. But this is just... Oh, excuse me. You keep the audience busy real quick, Jacob.
Yeah, I've been a big DC fan as well. Other than Spider-Man, he's definitely my hero when I was little. Superman and Batman were my heroes in the DC universe for sure. And to see what's now coming to, I personally love the Snyder Cut, but it's a weird thing with me for Snyder as a director.
I'm back. What were you saying?
Okay. I was talking about, I've been a DC fan as well. Other than Spider-Man, Superman and Batman were my heroes when I was little in the DC realm. So it hurts my soul that the DCU is the way it is now.
Yeah, I know. It's just and Snyder, this is a man who said that he'd like to see a Batman movie where Batman gets assaulted in prison.
It gets raped, yeah.
Really? Really? That's the guy you want running the DC universe? Oh my god. Just... It drives me insane. It drives me insane. And in all honesty, I'm like, I don't really talk about it because, in all honesty, I don't want to hear it from the Snyder fans. But it's just like, ugh. What does it got to take for DC to? It's like that meme where the anime guy sees the butterfly come up, and the butterfly is just. It's like fate is just throwing signs at DC saying, "Hey, bro, this isn't working," and DC just goes and is like, "Oh." This means we're doing a great job and we're doing it 100%. We should keep doing this. We should just keep doing this. Even though all this stuff has been going down. Even though the universe, again, or God, or Buddha, or again, whatever the hell you believe in, is sending signs that, hey, this might not be working out, bro. And they still keep doing it. Nothing has changed.
Nothing whatsoever.
And you know what the sad part is, Jacob? I don't think anything's going to be changing in the near future.
Oh, not at all. That's the saddest part. Nothing's going to be changing for a long time.
It's frustrating as a DC fan, just sitting around and again, I don't really blame the Snyder Bros. Again, I think they're another symptom of the problem that's going on here with the DCU. They just will not let it die, despite all of the evidence being thrown in the way that's saying, hey guys, this is probably an idea that doesn't work. We should probably just scrap it and try something else. No. Not that. And I'll be honest with you guys.
What you're doing.
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. If the MCU were doing the same thing, I'd be saying the same exact thing. Like, I promise you. I am not just biased against DC. I'm not just biased against Zack Snyder. If this were the MCU doing the same exact thing, I would be saying it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, what's this? They actually have a formula that works and has actually been successful and is now known as a cinematic achievement. Or it should be known. Again, I don't care what Martin Scorsese has to say about it. I think the MCU is a cinematic achievement.
It is.
And it's just... it's very frustrating as a fan.
It is.
And it's frustrating having to... It's just frustrating having to deal with all this strife as a DC fan.
It really, yeah. It's stressful.
Yeah, it's also just depressing at the end of the day. And, though, to be honest, I was telling Tig about this the other day. I'm like, they take Phantom Menacing to an entirely new level that I have never even seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Chris Stuckman ever were to watch this, I would definitely ask him, what do you think about this DCU Snyder thing? Like, have you ever seen Phantom Menacing like this before?
Yeah, because, oh my god. I mean, it's Phantom Menacing when Carlton says that the original Suicide Squad is better than the James Gunn version.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. This is Phantom Menacing to an extreme.
Yeah, he told me, I was talking about we were talking about comics the other day, and Carlton was like, it's like if Taika Waititi and Joss Whedon made a movie, it would be that bad. And it kind of triggered me internally. Because I really like Taika Waititi. I don't care what Carlton says.
And I like James Gunn as well, so I don't care what he says either.
Yeah, I like James Gunn. I think he's good. But, he did make some of the best MCU movies with the Guardians films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the DCEU. In all honesty, I don't know what else to say that I haven't. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. Either...
Oh, yeah, you've broken all the records.
I am a broken record at this point. Go back to the drawing board or you will keep having disaster. That is all I'm going to say. But again, you know what the depressing part about this is, Jacob? I don't think this is going to change anytime soon.
It's not. That's the saddest part of it. It's not gonna change for a long time.
It's basically like Murphy's Law, where everything that could possibly go wrong, it just went wrong.
Yep.
And
here you go.
They also got Zack Snyder to do it, who, I'm sorry, Snyder Bros, has no effing clue what the DC characters are. He has zero understanding of what makes these characters work. It's just, it's ridiculous. I'm not even that big of a Superman fan. I was not a fan of his Man of Steel movie. And Batman v Superman, like, that movie didn't bother me as much. But Batman v Superman is even worse. Again, I'm sorry, Carlton, but it's not a good movie. It's just not. It's just not.
Ugh. Oh, God. Just get ready. That's going to be a shouting match when Carlton comes out.
And Suicide Squad, even worse. Like, I'm sorry. Not the James Gunn version. I'm talking about the original David Ayers version. Now, do I think he could have made a good movie out of it? Maybe. He did write Training Day, after all, so the man is capable of making... And he also made Fury, so the guy is capable of making good movies. But it's just like, good Lord, just... Sometimes people fail, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, after that, I'm on board for the Ayer cut. Release the Ayer cut.
I actually wouldn't mind the Ayer cut, but hopefully it won't be like the Snyder cut where it's like 4 hours long. Please don't do that.
I don't think so.
Please do not be 4 hours. Again, it's like the Snyder cut. It did not need to be 4 hours. I'm sorry. It just didn't.
I agree on that. Like, 4 hours. That's like half
I mean, it's way better than the Whedon cut. Now, that's not really saying much. Like I said, I think if Roger Deakins recorded a turd, that would be a much better product than the Whedon cut. But all I'm saying is, it is not the masterpiece other people are saying it is. I don't think so, anyway. Like, it's solid. It's a good it's a solid movie, but I just... It just drives me insane. Warner Bros. Has just completely dropped the ball with DCU, and it's almost that they don't even know it.
Nope.
Either they don't know, or they don't care. And you know what the real bitch of it is? I don't even... I just think they don't care. That's the shitty part. Like... Really? There's been people who've been saying it. They need a Feige. They need someone who really cares about... And they did with Jeff Johns, but then that didn't go very well. With, vague accusations of him being... Ray Fisher was also talking about that. But then doesn't say anything when, Amber Heard and, Ezra Miller go off and do their weird shenanigans. So, there you go. But it just drives me insane. I've been saying this for years... I'm just really sick of it at the end of the day. I'm sick of this, and I'm angry, and I've been angry, and you should be angry too.
Yep.
I think everyone should be angry at this. Any sensible DC fan. And look, if you're a Snyder fan, that's fine. I think that you're wrong, but I'm not going to treat you like you're an idiot.
All the DCU needed was a plan and a person that gave a shit, like a Feige, as you said.
Indeed, and they didn't even do that. And there was some solid, there were some good movies that came out of it. Of course, Aquaman's pretty fun. Wonder Woman is good, and Shazam was pretty good too. But aside from that, it's just been a disaster. Don't even say I'm blinded by my MCU fanboyism. There's plenty of problems with the MCU, but at least they have something that works, and at least they have enough passion. They have passion in what they're doing. You can tell, even in the lesser movies.
Exactly.
It just drives me insane. It just drives me insane.
So you can call us MCU dick riders all you want. They're far from perfect, but. They had a plan, and they care.
Yeah, I was actually talking with our unofficial third member the other day, Carlton, and I was telling him about the MCU, and I'm like, yeah, there's not really a bad movie in them. And he's like, did you say that with a straight face? And I'm like, bruh, there's not a atrociously bad. I mean, if you want to talk about films you like, that's fine. But if you want to talk about, like, films in terms of, like, what you like, yeah, I guess it is hit and miss. But there's not, like, a bad movie in the bunch. I don't think.
No, there's not like a horrendously abysmal film that's like, oh, this is an F movie for sure. Like,
the worst they've done is Bland. Like, Thor: The Dark World is like.
I was about to say, like, the only two films that I think are bad are Dark World and Captain Marvel. Even some of their more mediocre films, like Incredible Hulk or Black Widow. But other than that, most of their films have been really good.
I will also mention the Black Widow third act is awful, but aside from that, it's a solid movie.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's not a great film. Ugh, God. Anyway, but yeah, so Hamada got fired, and everyone's acting like we're in a new golden age of the DC EU. And I'm sorry to pop your bubble, everyone, but we're not. We're just they're basically they're doing the thing that you've been accusing them of doing, except you're doing it very selectively. They're basically trying to quell the fan base by getting rid of an obviously bad link.
Yep.
Like, they're taking money from you, and you act like you're paying them to raw dog you in the movie theater, and then say, there you go, sir, that'll be $15. Like, what the fuck is this, you know? It's like that.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the bullshit and the deception. I'm tired of it all.
It's all just unnecessarily stressful.
It's just... It just frustrates me. It just really frustrates me as a fan of this stuff.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And it's just really irritating.
It really is.
I don't really know what else to say rather than I don't think anything's going to change. And I'm sorry, Snyder fans. I don't think it's going to change for a long time.
It's not.
And the problem is that I don't think people really care.
They don't. That's the biggest problem.
They just want their Zack Snyder movies where he's butchering the DC universe. And you know what? That's fine. You can like that all you want. But don't get mad when people criticize the guy who you like. Alright? Because I don't like his DC films. I'll just put it that way. I don't. Man of Steel, he makes Superman into an angsty sourpuss. Batman v Superman is awful. And Justice League is fine, but it still has problems. I mean, we already talked about it, so I won't go into the Justice League. In the Whedon cut, oh god, I did not even want to get into that.
No, please don't.
But yeah, nothing's changed. And I'm sorry, but I don't think anything's going to change anytime soon.
It's not.
I'm just saying. Unless they scrap it and just decide we're going to, maybe put out Black Adam and they're just going to scrap it all after that. If they do that, it's unlikely. But if they did that, maybe I'd have some hope. But I don't think they're going to do that. They really think they can actually do this with the awful, just coordination by everybody.
So horrendous.
I have never seen a cinematic universe that has been handled so incompetently. I don't believe I've ever seen it like that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's just like, I just don't know what to say. The DCU is not changing anytime soon. But people thinking like, oh, he got fired. This is a new era for DC. No, I don't think so.
I'm like, you really want to change things? Clean the whole thing out, scrap the whole DCEU, and just act like it's this weird little experiment that we did, and then make something new. Hell, maybe you don't even have to. You already had a great cinematic, or not really cinematic, but you already had a great shared universe with the DC animated stuff.
Yeah.
But no, that's not, we don't need to take from that, because, Snyder knows what he's doing, right? Because, Warner Brothers definitely knows what they're doing, yeah? Nothing's gonna change. If that's really the thought process, if you can't even accept that there are problems, then I'm sorry. You're gonna keep getting it's like if you walk into a restaurant and you have a great steak, and then you get just massive food poisoning. Massive! And then these Snyder Bros are like, hey man, you're doing a great job. You're gonna get a raise. You're gonna give them the food poisoned steak. And for some reason they like the food poisoned steak. I don't know why, but they do.
They just do.
And it's just like, I don't know. Jacob, I know you go more back and forth on it than I do. I'm more just like, guys, just stop with the DCU. I know you're more mixed on it.
I'm very mixed on it, like extremely, especially when it comes to like Snyder shit.
It's very frustrating, and I'd love nothing more than to see well-made DC movies, a well-made cinematic universe of the DC characters, but we're not getting it. And if you really think so, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be blunt here. You're being delusional. It's like, oh. But I bet some people are going to be like, oh, well, they didn't make good movies. If they made good movies, you wouldn't be talking about this like this today. Yeah, maybe not. But damn it, they should make good movies. That's the problem here.
But they are not.
I hate the executives at Warner Bros. I hate the directors they got for these movies. I hate it all. Just clean it all out. It's literally, that's all you need to do. And they're not doing it. So again, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. They're giving us the food poisoning steak.
Yep. Not to mention that DC's best films are the ones outside of the extended universe.
Yeah.
Live action in particular.
Exactly. It's like they're giving you the food poison steak when saying, hey, it's not food poisoned anymore. And they still kept that guy on, and he's like, yeah, hiding in the background. That's what this all is. Or that's how I feel about it. That's what I think, anyways. Probably shouldn't say feel. Because then people are going to say, don't be so controlled by your feeling. Well, what do you want me to say? You want me to say, oh, yes, the DC guys did the best they could. No, they didn't. They did the bare minimum.
Yep, they sure did.
They did the bare minimum. And they're expecting us to just fall on our feet and thank them for it. Like, no. No, sir. I mean, there's some people who really got fucked over there, like Ben Affleck, but they're acting like because Ben Affleck's gonna come back and whatnot, that things are gonna, like, change now. I'm sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but nothing's gonna change. I promise you, nothing's gonna change. If you really think that anything's gonna change because Ben Affleck's coming back and Walter Hamada got fired, and again, I'm not pretending that I have any love towards that man, because I don't. I think he's a fucking idiot, and I think he is part of the problem I'm talking about here. It's part delusional fan base. It's part idiot executives who don't know what the hell they're doing. And again, they don't have any direction at all. None.
None whatsoever.
And for people who are basically under the gun, they're acting like everything's fine. And it drives me insane. Like, it really does. Because, I really care about this stuff.
Yeah.
I remember people got mad when I said I was irritated with Batman saying the F word. Well, I'll tell you why I don't like that. Again, it just feels too subconsciously edgy. Just self-consciously edgy. That's why I didn't like it. It's not because I'm aghast by swear words or anything. But I digress. But again, I don't think anything's going to change. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't think anything's going to change.
It's not, unfortunately.
They're still giving out the poisoned steaks. And you're basically eating it up like, so good, while you're fucking puking your guts out in the toilet. That's what this is. And I really don't know how to help you. It's just, I don't know what to say else, rather than what I've already said for the past couple years, which is, this needs to stop immediately. Fucking clean out all the executives from Warner Brothers and get people who know what they're doing. Because the rest of the executives that are here, aside from Hamada, are fucking clowns. They are clowns. And I know, I bet a lot of the Snyder Bros are going to be like, well, we can agree on that. I don't think so. Because you're still letting them make crap movies for overextended budgets.
That's the worst part. Over $300 million movies.
You kidding me?
The Justice League, $300 million movie, turned out shit.
And yeah, oh yeah, because of the fan harassment, they end up giving us the Snyder cut, which, I mean, better, but still, it didn't fix anything. Again, I'm sorry, but that's just it. That's just the case, man. There's nothing else I can say. Nothing's gonna change. I've said it dozens of times, and I guess I'm just saying it so I can accept it at the end of the day. But I don't think anything's going to change anytime soon.
It's not. That's the sad part.
Indeed. It's very irritating.
Mm-hmm.
And just, and I'm furious. I think everyone else should be furious as well. But, again, it's just a weird, I don't understand the fan base for these movies. I don't, man.
Me either.
I don't get it. I really don't. It's like you're getting it's like the poisoned steak again. It's like if the boss just decided to be like, all right, I'm gonna give you a raise for making the poisoned steak, the food poisoning steak.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a freaking clown show over there. And people are just lapping it up. And they think it's going to change because Walter Hamada's gone. It ain't. I'm sorry. Again, I don't want to burst your bubble, but it ain't going to change. And until they just go straight up Stalin on them, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Fucking Stalin with the purge, purging the enemies. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So... sorry.
No.
So, if you want your shitty, mediocre movies, that's fine. But for the people who want more, I hate to say this to you guys, but nothing's going to change. Nothing.
Like, here's my take. For example, 2 franchises. One where the people gave a shit, and the other, they didn't. Harry Potter. One of the best movie franchises ever, in my opinion. Because you know why? The people there, the people working on those films, gave a shit and put all their passion in those films, even the more meandering ones. And look what happened. We got Harry Potter. Now, on to Fantastic Beasts. Probably had a higher budget in the same universe, but no one on those movies wanted to be there, and they didn't give a shit. They were clearly there just to get their fucking paycheck, and it shows. That is the difference between a franchise where people give a shit and one that doesn't. Same with the DCEU. People who did not give a shit, and they did not have a plan. No passion whatsoever.
Anyway, now we've been ranting about this for like 30 minutes, so I guess we should wrap up this episode. Yeah. Jacob, you said you had the movie ready for next week. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I would love to talk about E.T., but our unofficial third member, Carlton, will be joining us.
Oh, very nice. It's funny you mentioned that, because I actually have eat because oh yes, I forgot to mention they finally put carpet in my office room. Yay! So it won't be echoey anymore. I got a new carpet. I love it. I also redid my movies and books and all that. So I got E.T. right over here. So that's I've actually been wanting an excuse to rewatch E.T.
Oh, hey, perfect. I chose it for next week.
I know you just saw it on. I know you just saw it in the theaters again recently. So.
Oh yes.
But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry if it seemed kind of scrambled. I was kind of didn't quite all work out how I planned it. But you know what? I had fun nonetheless, and we did rant about DCEU, so that always makes me feel better. It feels better talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so E.T. next week. I'm looking forward to it. We got our unofficial third member coming on. All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yes.
All right, I've been Britton.
And I've been Jacob.
And we do it for the love of the movies.
Yes, we do.
All right, take care, everyone.